Now, the president traveled again, and the man who has been monitoring his travels issued yet another epistle saying that he is going to saddle us with yet another budget, a cumulative 3.46 million Ghana cedis. How did he come by that? And he gives us another another run that suggests that this one may even be more luxurious than the previous one, and there can be no excuse for not using the presidential jet that we have. Yes, let me explain.
Yes, Samson, I'm glad that we are having this discussion right after the CDD survey, which puts in perspective the expectations of Ghanaians on public office holders to protect the public purse. Indeed, this president himself pledged to protect the public purse, and is one of the reasons why he was voted for in the 2016 elections. And it is sad to say that agreeing with 53% of Ghanaians who have lost confidence in the president to protect the public purse, the president appears now to be on a journey of no return. This his newfound taste for luxury jets is costing this country greatly. I can confirm, Samson, that when the president traveled to the United Kingdom on the 27th of July 2021 for the Global Education Summit, and when he traveled to Germany last week on the invitation of Chancellor Angela Merkel, the president again abandoned the presidential jet, which this country purchased at a whopping $37,150,000 United States dollars. The presidential jet we have did not come cheap. And indeed, if you follow aviation journals analyzing presidential jet in Africa, our presidential jet is always rated amongst the top 5. It is a really comfortable presidential jet. Remember, it was spruced up recently in 2017, reconfigured, and made even more comfortable for our president to use. And we all want our president to be comfortable and to be safe. So there is absolutely no justification for the president refusing blatantly to use the presidential jet. This time, the president chartered from the Global Jet Luxembourg company a Boeing 737-900ER BBJ3. It is registered LXDIO. The manufacturer serial number is MSN 62515 with a line number 5659. It has a hex code 4D0213, configured VIP. It has 2 CFMI engines, and it was delivered to the current operators, that is the Global Jet of Luxembourg, in November 2015. It is a 19-seater luxury jet, and its manufacturers boast of having some of the finest luxury features you can find in the world. It comes with multiple sections, guaranteed with a VIP lounge for relaxation, 5-star dining facilities, a royal master bedroom, cinema room for watching movies, in addition to other in-flight entertainment systems. And of course, if I will pay royalties to the Defense Minister Nitiwo, it also comes with royal bathroom or shower facilities. Now, it costs the Ghanaian taxpayer, and viewers and listeners can check from the Global Jet Luxembourg website. I have run my checks. The minimum you will pay for this jet is $14,000 an hour, the minimum, if you deal directly with them. But if you come through a broker or a middleman, you can pay between $18,000 and $22,000 per hour. So the estimates that I have done, I went very conservative. I used the minimum, $14,000, even though I know that our government has a penchant of dealing with middlemen. Sometimes dubious middlemen and shonky sheikhs. But
so how does this compare with the first instance?
So the first instance, he went for £15,000 an hour. That was slightly more expensive. That is the ACJ320 Neo. That's slightly more expensive because that's indeed he was among the first clientele because that is new. This jet was delivered in 2015. The ACJ320 Neo was manufactured and delivered less than 2 years ago. And in terms of its luxury features, it probably had more leg room for luxury, except that this one now has a cinema room, which the other one didn't have. That is the more unique feature about this one. But I've been asking myself, really, for a 6.5-hour journey, I mean, to London, 7 hours to Germany, how much time do you have, to watch movies, to use the master bedroom, and all of that? Now, if you look at the total flying time, we have estimated 41 hours to the UK, to Germany, and then the 13 hours of pickup and drop-off time. You will then have to multiply that 41 hours by $14,000 United States dollars. That gives you $574,000. At today's exchange rate, it is 3.46 million Ghana cedis. That is how much we have lost for just these 2 trips. And you see, the irony something is that the president is visiting 2 leaders who are celebrated globally for their simplicity and their modesty. He went to the UK. Boris Johnson is celebrated for his love for bicycles. He rides his bicycle to work with his backpack. He became famous for that when he was London mayor. Angela Merkel, one of the most modest leaders the world has ever seen, insists on staying in her apartment where she was as a young physicist. She has remained there. She gardens herself, she shops herself, goes to market herself. She is not one to use all these expensive female bags and shoes and bangles and all of that. That's why the Germans love her. They call her Mutti. She's celebrated for her modesty. And then our president, who is going to appeal to these people for assistance, he went to Germany to try to negotiate some more vaccines for us. Remember, the Germans already had said they would donate 70 million doses of AstraZeneca to Africa. So even if the president didn't go to Germany, we will have got the vaccines. But while he says that we got a few thousands more because he went there, did you have to go with such a luxurious monster, which will make even Arabian kings envious?
Earlier, Nito had explained to us that the number that he needs to carry along, what you have cannot carry that.
Again, that argument doesn't cut it. It doesn't make any sense. Look, our presidential jet now has been reconfigured. With crew, it can take up to 17 people. Now, this LXDIO, the Boeing 737 that was chartered for this trip, takes 19 people. What's the difference really between 17 and 19? What is the substantial, the significant difference that the Ghanaian taxpayer should be saddled? And you see something, it will even outrage Ghanaians to find out that I decided to track what the presidential jet was up to whilst the president was on this luxury frolic.
Floric, you don't want to say that because at least we have secured vaccines coming.
Please,
so
I mean, it's the luxurious component of this journey is what is unacceptable. Is totally
you have a suspicion that it was used for private purpose?
Look, the presidential jet was flown to France on the 19th of July, 2021, per my tracking. It departed Kotoka at 6:08 a.m. and arrived in France at 14:30. It flew direct. Remember that when I put out the first article, the first expose on the ACJ320 Neo, some MPP communicators said, the aircraft cannot fly directly to France. on the 19th of July, it flew directly non-stop to France, which confirms what we have always said, that the Falcon can fly to Europe directly, non-stop. Now, I'm interested in who really took this aircraft to France, or probably was it for servicing? They should let us know. Now, whilst the president was in the UK, the presidential jet was also spotted flying to Lusaka and then to Kumasi. That confirms that the presidential jet is in good shape, is in pristine condition, and could have been used. I am totally outraged, Samson, that you have the president and his team unable to provide acceptable and convincing reasons after the first expose. As we speak, after several weeks of pussyfooting, rigmarole, finance minister asking for more time, he comes to parliament to tell us that, look, go to national security. We were not convinced in parliament that this is a national security issue, especially when the finance minister should know. If he checks the give me system, he has access to the give me system, he will know how much has been spent. He releases funds for this expenditure, and yet he claims not to know. We should go to national security minister. The national security minister is in possession of the question. I filed another question. The speaker admitted it. I must commend the speaker for his diligence. The national security minister appears to have been saved by the bell with the parliamentary break, and we are expecting that he will respond when we resume from the break. Now, the answer has not been provided. The dust has not settled on the first one, the ACJ320. But gauging from the uproar, the anger of Ghanaians, saying that, look, you promise to protect the public purse. What you are doing, you are rather saddling us with more expenditure. Let us use these resources to look at school feeding caterers this whole week, agitating that they've not been paid for 7 months. Look at the considerable labor agitations, at the labor front. UTAC, Federation of Senior Staff Association, NAT and NAGRAT have all served notice. GMA has served notice. The frontline healthcare workers who are helping us fight COVID, the promises we made them have not been honored. We say that we should burden share. That is why the president, you told us during the May Day celebrations that you are even willing to suspend salary increase for you and your appointees. So let's all burden share. Is this burden sharing? This cannot be burden sharing. So the president really has shown the height of insensitivity and total disrespect and contempt for the Ghanaian people. When this first expose has not been addressed.
With considerable experience in managing a president, says he agrees with you if it is used for a private purpose, it must be paid for. As you have also said, is the practice elsewhere, even in America. But where he disagrees with you is where you say we should pass regulations or policy that dictates how presidential travels must be handled. Why is that? In 30 seconds, I need to move to the others to get their views.
It's from best practice. I have studied the presidential travel policies across the world, and they don't leave it to the discretion of a president. No president of the United States of America can decide that he won't use the presidential jet, he wants a more luxurious or something else. You are not allowed, because it even jeopardizes your security. Those who are saying that some of the arguments I'm making, I'm undermining the security of the president, it's not true. We are rather asking for more security. When you use your presidential jet, you are using your own pilot, your crew, whose allegiance you can trust, their loyalty is known. These commercial jets, they don't allow you to come with your pilot and your crew. You don't know where they owe allegiance. So it is not even safe for the president. So we need a presidential travel policy now, because the abuse is just too much. And that presidential travel policy should dictate that presidential jet must be used. If you look at our history, all the times we've had presidential jets, when we had the first presidential jet in 1962, the DH-125, President Nkrumah stuck to it, he used it. When Achampong bought the Fokker 28 in 1976, he stuck to it, he used it. When Rawlings bought the Gulfstream GIII, President Rawlings stuck to it and used it. When the Falcon arrived in 2010, President Mills used it, President Mahama used it. this business of abandoning the presidential jet is so new and is so offensive, and the president must stop. Look, the world over, even in the United States, where they have the presidential travel policy, they still go further to ensure that refunds are made. You know, in the United States, if you are on Air Force One and you have mixed functions, you do a detour and attend to private business, you are asked to reinvest. Political campaign,
okay.
Political fundraisers or graduation for it. You pay the state for it.
Thank you.
And I have letters here from
all right. Thank you.
From congressmen and congresswomen.
It's not in controversy, so we can move on.